Story 1. The Depths of Lake Elysium. The waters of Lake Elysium shimmered under the midday sun, inviting and serene. It was a popular spot for summer vacations, with families and friends gathering along its sandy shores to bask in the warmth and swim in its refreshing waters. But beneath the tranquil surface of the lake, hidden in the shadows of its depths, lurked a dark and ancient secret. Jenny had heard the stories since she was a child, whispered rumors of a hidden underwater cave that few dared to venture into. It was said that the cave was a place of darkness, where the water turned icy cold and the walls seemed to close in around you, trapping you in a suffocating embrace. One hot summer day, Jenny and her friends, Sarah and Mark, decided to explore the mysteries of Lake Elysium. Armed with their diving gear and a sense of adventure, they set out in a small boat, the sun high in the sky. As they reached the center of the lake, the water took on a deep, almost ominous hue. Jenny felt a shiver run down her spine, but she brushed it off as nerves. "Are you sure about this?" Sarah asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Jenny nodded, her excitement outweighing her apprehension. "Absolutely, this is going to be amazing." With that, they suited up in their diving gear and plunged into the cool, inviting waters. The lake enveloped them in its embrace, the sunlight filtering down in shimmering shafts. Their descent was slow and steady, the underwater world unfolding before them in all its splendor. Schools of colorful fish darted past, and the coral reef swayed gently in the currents. But as they swam deeper, the sunlight began to fade, replaced by an inky darkness that seemed to press in from all sides. Jenny felt a twinge of unease in the pit of her stomach, but she pushed it aside. "We must be getting close," Mark said, his voice muffled through the diving mask. Jenny nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. The entrance to the underwater cave loomed before them, a gaping maw in the rocky wall. Without hesitation, they swam inside. The cave was a labyrinth of twisting tunnels, the water murky and cold. Strange shapes loomed in the shadows, and eerie whispers echoed through the caverns. Jenny felt a chill run down her spine as they navigated the maze-like passages, the darkness seeming to swallow them whole. The water grew colder and colder, the pressure pressing in on her chest. Suddenly, Jenny felt a hand wrap around her ankle, pulling her down into the depths. She screamed, bubbles escaping from her mouth as she struggled against the unseen force. Her friends tried to help, but they too were ensnared by invisible tendrils, dragged deeper into the heart of the cave. As they descended, the water grew colder and colder, the pressure crushing their bodies. Jenny could feel something watching her from the darkness, a malevolent presence that hungered for their souls. With a burst of desperate strength, Jenny broke free from the grasp of the unseen force. She swam upwards, her lungs burning for air as she fought her way to the surface. Gasping for breath, she emerged into the sunlight, her friends nowhere to be seen. The lake's surface was calm, betraying no trace of the horrors that lurked below. Jenny knew then that the depths of Lake Elysium held dark secrets, secrets that hungered for unsuspecting swimmers to claim as their own. But she also knew that she had escaped, a survivor of the haunting depths that claimed so many before her. Story 2. The Haunting of Whispering Waters Resort. Whispering Waters Resort had once been a jewel of the countryside, a luxurious getaway for those seeking relaxation and tranquility. Its shimmering pool, surrounded by lush greenery and elegant cabanas, was the focal point of the resort, a place where guests could cool off from the summer heat and unwind in style. But as the years passed and the resort fell into disrepair, whispers began to circulate about its dark past, rumors of a tragic drowning, of a young girl who had vanished beneath the waters of the pool and never resurfaced. Katie had heard the stories since she was a child, the haunting tale of the girl who now roamed the resort, her ghostly presence felt by those brave enough to visit. One summer evening, Katie and her friends Alex and Rachel decided to spend the night at the abandoned resort. Armed with flashlights and a sense of adventure, they set out under the light of the full moon, the air heavy with the scent of jasmine and decay. As they approached the resort, Katie felt a chill run down her spine. The once elegant buildings now stood in silent decay, their windows boarded up and their doors hanging off their hinges. "I'm not sure about this," Rachel said, her voice trembling. Katie glanced at her friends, her determination unwavering. "Come on, it'll be fun. We'll just explore a bit and see if we can find anything." With that, they made their way to the pool, the water dark and still under the moonlight. The air seemed to grow colder as they approached, and Katie could hear the faint sound of laughter echoing in the distance. Ignoring the growing sense of unease in her stomach, Katie dipped her toe into the water. It was icy cold, sending shivers down her spine. "Let's see if we can find anything in the pool house," Alex suggested, his voice eager. With a nod, they made their way to the crumbling building, the floorboards creaking beneath their feet. The air inside was thick with dust and the scent of decay, the walls lined with faded photographs of happier times. As they explored the pool house, Katie felt a strange sensation wash over her, A feeling of being watched, of not being alone. "Did you hear that?" Rachel whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Katie listened, her heart pounding in her chest. There was a faint sound coming from the direction of the pool. A soft, mournful wail that sent chills down her spine. Without warning, the lights flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. Katie could hear her friends screaming, their voices echoing through the empty halls. Panic set in as they stumbled through the darkness, their only guide the faint glow of their flashlights. The wailing grew louder and louder, filling the air with an oppressive sense of dread. Suddenly they found themselves back at the edge of the pool, the water black and foreboding in the moonlight. Katie could hear the sound of splashing, of something moving beneath the surface. With a sickening realization, she knew that they were not alone. The ghost of the young girl, the one who had drowned so tragically years before, was with them. In a frenzy of fear, Katie and her friends ran for the exit, the ghostly wailing following close behind. As they burst out into the night air, gasping for breath, Katie glanced back at the pool. There, standing at the water's edge, was the ghostly figure of the young girl. Her eyes were filled with sorrow and longing, her ghostly form shimmering in the moonlight. The haunting of Whispering Waters Resort had claimed another victim, its dark waters hiding secrets that would never be forgotten. Story 3. The Curse of Coral Cove. Coral Cove was a hidden gem of a beach tucked away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Its crystal-clear waters and vibrant coral reefs made it a paradise for swimmers and divers alike, drawing in visitors from far and wide. But beneath its picturesque surface lay a dark and ancient secret, a curse that had plagued the cove for centuries. Liam had always been drawn to the ocean, its vast expanse calling to him like a siren's song. When he heard of Coral Cove's legendary beauty, he knew he had to see it for himself. Arriving at the cove on a warm summer morning, Liam was struck by the beach's pristine beauty. The sand was white and powdery, the water a dazzling shade of turquoise. Eager to explore, Liam donned his snorkel gear and waded into the cool waters of the cove. The ocean enveloped him in its embrace, the sunlight filtering down through the clear water. As he swam, he marveled at the colorful fish darting past, the vibrant coral reefs swaying gently in the currents. It was a paradise unlike any he had ever seen. But as he ventured further from the shore, a sense of unease settled over him. The water grew colder, the sunlight dimming as he approached a massive coral formation. Curiosity getting the better of him, Liam swam closer, his heart pounding in his chest. The coral seemed to pulse with a strange, otherworldly light, drawing him in like a moth to a flame. Before he could react, Liam felt something wrap around his ankle, a slimy, writhing tendril that pulled him down into the depths. Panic set in as he struggled against the unseen force, his lungs burning for air. He could hear a haunting melody echoing through the water, a mournful tune that seemed to seep into his very soul. With a burst of desperate strength, Liam broke free from the tendril's grasp, swimming frantically for the surface. Gasping for air, he emerged from the water, his heart pounding in his chest. But as he looked back at the coral formation, he saw something that chilled him to the core. A ghostly figure stood among the coral, its eyes filled with a malevolent hunger. Liam knew then that Coral Cove was cursed, its waters home to a vengeful spirit that preyed on unsuspecting swimmers. With a shudder, he vowed never to return, the haunting melody of the coral reef echoing in his ears. But the Curse of Coral Cove had claimed another victim, its dark waters hiding secrets that would remain hidden for eternity.